Good morning, mighty men of Christ Church. Last Monday, the Monday following Easter, I focused on Peter and him being singled out in the Gospel of Mark. So what I want to talk about this morning, I think you'll find kind of interesting because it starts off with what kind of miracles most grab our attention. Aren't they miracles of the body where a disfigured limb is restored, sight or hearing is reclaimed, or a disease is expelled from the body like we read in the scriptures as Jesus heals people? We're drawn to celebrate miracles that seem most beyond our human control, just like the people did then, beyond our human capability to effect change. Physical miracles of the body, if we're lucky enough to witness them, seem more substantial than those what are referred to as hidden miracles of the heart. But what the masses didn't realize at that time and don't realize for sure in today's world, miracles of the heart have moved great mountains throughout history and are only the miracles that can ultimately save the human race. Or what's more important to my way of thinking, miracles of the heart individual by individual. They are truly awakening miracles. What a great awakening in a bunch of college kids we just recently witnessed at Asbury University. Truly many upon many miracles of the heart. So shortly after the resurrection on Easter morning, where are the disciples? They're all getting back to the normalcies of life. What's old Peter do? Peter goes fishing. But on one particular early morning, shortly after Easter, whose heart was on Jesus' agenda? If Peter the rock was to be the one whom the church was to be built, he would need his own miracle of the heart to move forward. Why? Peter gave in to fear of what the world would think if he admitted to be one of the followers of Jesus. It's like I talked about last Monday. When we as followers of Jesus do the same and give in to our fears of what the world thinks about us, especially causes us to make bad choices, what generally follows is inward shame. What is that? That's the guilty feeling of believing we have let Jesus down. The multitudes of the world could care less what Jesus thinks about them. Or if they claim to be followers, what? They make Jesus into who they want him to be, to fit their agenda of free will, to do whatever, regardless. No shame, just pious self-aggrandizement. So on that particular early morning in the scriptures, Jesus takes Peter for a walk along the shore and challenges him 3 times with what? Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? Now listen to this. Jesus is asking Peter questions, but it is not Jesus who needs to hear the answers. It is Peter. Peter must hear himself say, you know that I love you. 3 times, not once, but 3 times, to counteract the 3 denials he had spoken in his earlier moment of fear. Peter was now slowly feeling the shame of his denials lifting off his own heart. For Peter to move past his worst memory, Jesus knew he must be set free from his shame. We need to hear ourselves say what is true about ourselves for our healing from inward pain and guilt to be complete. Just like the college kids at Asbury, after the chapel sermon on God's love for them, I wonder how many broken relationships between those kids were healed. Lord, you know I love you, was what Peter needed to say and he needed to hear, just as those kids at Asbury needed, and just as each of us do. So Peter received the commission for which he was made, and that was to plant God's holy and apostolic church at the day of Pentecost. Peter will pastor as he has been pastured, he will feed sheep, new and old, all coming into the great shepherd's fold. And Jesus will be doing the pastoring through him. How about us? The Great Commission at the end of Matthew is always right in front of us. We must welcome the conversation of the heart that leads us to wholeness and healing, so we can go into the world allowing Jesus to shepherd through us, making disciples just like Peter and the other apostles did. So think about that this week. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Have a great week.